Please go out of your way to employ veterans, their spouses. Here's the key. Many have sacrificed for our nation to stay safe and to stay free. Active military veterans, National Guard, reservists, spouses, and children, and let's don't forget the families. For those of you in the audience who are members of the military family and who are taking good care of us, please stand. Let's recognize these folks who have sacrificed their lives for our country.
The Texas Society of Human Resource Management State Council has recognized the sacrifices of veterans, wounded warriors, and military spouses by launching an initiative called Texas Veteran Employment, Education, Legislation, and Sustainability. The goal is to provide a strategy that will educate employers and HR professionals on the best ways to tap into the talent pool of the military community. Joining us now to discuss the program is Bob Cartwright. Thanks for joining us on Hiring America.
Very much my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So you've just won a Pinnacle Award from SHRM for excellence in your field.
Yes.
What does that mean for your organization?
It means quite a bit because there's so many people in the state of Texas who participated in the program that's been ongoing since 2008.
So tell me more about what types of programs make up the Texas Veteran Employment Initiative.
We touched over 18,000 employers in the state of Texas to educate them on how to engage and transition veterans, to not turn them away, to actually give them the opportunity. And part of that is to place veterans in their staffing offices and so on from an HR personnel perspective, because they would know the right things to do and say to be able to engage them and get them on the right path in terms of a career choice.
Are there other ways in which you connect with employers to encourage them to hire veterans and reservists?
Yes. We put toolkits together and we placed it on our website for Texas SHRM, so that employers could reach out and look at the best practices that are out there, and we keep that updated so as time goes on, things change from a community perspective and so on. The other thing that I really want to share with you, and this is what started the whole thing with us, my brother's wife's son was one of the first Navy SEALs into Afghanistan. He's tried for 6 months to get employed in Houston, and he cannot even get somebody to respond to his resume. And thinking from that perspective, I'm going, wow, this is an indictment on my profession. I've been in human resources for 30 plus years, and I'm going, this can't happen. So I promised him that day after we talked, and I helped him with his resume and so on, that we were going to come full circle before it was all over with.
Is his a common story or situation? More
so than not. I think it's gotten better. I've learned through the journey, and it's a continuous journey, that we're not doing a good job with the families. It's hard on all of them. It's got to be a joint effort on all of us to ensure that that particular family unit with their child gets the necessary support and help, so that at the end of the day, they transition into civilian life together. It's not them and us from military to civilian. We're all in this together, and I think from that standpoint, that we need to look at that going forward in terms of that, so we're going to miss the boat in terms of what's important, and that's our freedom and protecting those who protect us.
And are there things employers and human resource departments can do to specifically support those families?
Absolutely. First thing you have to ask is, where's your pain? What can we do to support you? It's not about us and what we're going to place on your head to be able to go out and do. It's what can we do for you based on what your needs are, and then utilize that information to be able to work with them and to help them transition to what they need to do. When we talk about thank you for your sacrifice, you've got children who have sacrificed that haven't seen a parent in a year. You've got a spouse that when they come home, who are you? All you're doing is sitting on the couch. What's the deal? What's wrong with you? What can I do? And part of what they've told me is that there's no information coming back in terms of what have you experienced? What can I do to empathize with you? Because they don't want to talk about it. So how do you bridge that? How can the military help the family members understand what their spouse has gone through? And then from there, start the holistic approach in terms of developing programs and so on to ease that pain, but also to help them over a period of time go from point A to point B so that they're still intact at the end of that time. So part of my speech today was, hey, we're really appreciative of the award that we've received. It's been a labor of love. It will continue to be a labor of love. But we can't stop.
Bob, thank you for joining us on Hiring America.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate that. And anything that we can do from Texas to support you guys going forward, please keep us in mind. We'd love to do that.